Hello everyone and welcome to the French Connection. My name is Victorian and today we're going to be watching a Salmon Arm challenge. What is a Salmon Arm challenge? It's basically a 1,000 kilometers road trip in the Canadian Rockies, and I'll insert a link here so that you can watch the presentation video about that challenge and have a better idea of the route I'm going to be using, the elevation, and the different tests I'll perform along the way. The car I will be using is my personal Mustang Mach E. It's the big battery, so the 91 kilowatt hour usable. And the weather is really good. It's going to be sunny, no wind, and the temperature should be around, I would say 15 degrees in the morning, maybe a bit lower in the mountains, and around 30 degrees this afternoon, so that's going to be pretty warm. All right, enough talking. I'll let you enjoy the video and I'll see you back at the end for the debriefing and the final numbers. Okay, we're all ready to go. The car is charged 100%. Mama is all ready to go. And that's the plan for the day. My position, which is home, Salmon Arm to my home. And ABRP says that we should charge in Revelstock. We should arrive there at 22%, charge to 56%, and then turn around in Salmon Arm at 35%, back to Revelstock, Electrify Canada at 13%, to 54%, and we'll do a top up at Golden Electrify Canada and back home. And that sounds like a good plan. I don't see anything wrong with that. So we'll probably adapt it as we're going during the day. We'll see how it goes. Just leaving the neighborhood. It's going to be a long day of driving, but hey, that's going to be fun. Here we are, we just passed the entrance of Banff National Park. Gorgeous, beautiful national park here in Canada. I'll include some footage of that in the video. Let's take a look at ABRP here. It says still 70% state of charge forecasted when we arrive at Revelstock, so everything is looking good. 235 kilometers to Revelstock, which is going to be our first charging stop. And actually, if you look, it says now, ABRP says now that we're going to be arriving with 20% state of charge, which is, 3% more than earlier. It was telling us 70%. So I don't know what happened, but hey, we'll take it. The fuel, that's quite funny. The energy consumption is 21 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. So we're all good. And Mong, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Amazing. Driving now in British Columbia, gorgeous province, the most beautiful province in Canada in my opinion. But hey, that's just my opinion, don't get all frustrated, guys. If you live in Manitoba or Ontario. I mean, I live in Alberta, but yeah, British Columbia is just out of this world, right? Okay, 194 kilometers to go, 20% charge expected when we are gonna pull up at the Electrify Canada station. 199 kilometers driven, so we're pretty much halfway here, and the energy consumption is at decreased a bit, 19 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers, and that makes sense because we're driving a bit slower than initially, and plus we're now going down towards Revelstock. Look at those landscapes, it's absolutely stunning. I'm sure you like it, Mong, as well, right? Pretty cool. We are at 59% state of charge. So yeah, you're gonna see the same number on ABRP than on the car because they're linked via the ODB2 over there. So they talk to each other. Climate settings are always gonna be for those tests at 21 auto. So right now it's actually, I think it's heating a little bit. I should check the car scanner because it's 8 degrees outside, so it's actually pretty cold. Yeah, there is some energy going not only into the propulsion of the car, but in the climate use. So as you can see, 6% of the energy right now is being used for heating the inside of the cabin. 2% is used by, it says exterior temperature, which means basically conditioning the battery, making sure that the battery stays warm. We're 7 kilometers or so from Golden, and we have slowed down significantly because we're in a construction area. So we're at 40 kilometers, 30 kilometers on average, so I'll have to remove some time realistically to be fair to the Mach E here. 53% state of charge. We have another 154 kilometers to go to the station, so shouldn't be any concern here. And yeah, pretty good. It's arriving in Golden, and we won't need to stop here, but I can think of a few EVs that would need to stop on that same trip. For example, the Bolt for sure we'd have to stop here in Golden, and there is a few charging stations. There is actually right there, I think you can see it, Electrify Canada station, and there is a on the run charging station. There is, I think, a Shell charging station. So there is a few options. There is of course a Tesla supercharger. There is a few options here. I wonder if we might have to stop here actually on the way back. We'll see, I forgot. But right now, no, we're just gonna keep going. Still another 200 kilometers of range and 53% state of charge on the Mach E. So all good, more than enough to reach Revelstoke, which is another 150 kilometers away. Really impressed by the Mach E because we've been driving for 280 kilometers now, and I still have 43% state of charge. And we've not been driving super fast, but we've been driving, I would say, probably close to 100 kilometers an hour on average. Right now we're doing 110. We were doing 120 at the start of the video. So yes, we've been slowed down by construction, but still, I think it's a pretty good car when you want to road trip. My first car was a Mustang Mach E as well, but that was the standard range. It was 2021, which means I had only 68 kilowatt hours usable, and it made a big difference. Like, I would have had to stop in Golden. I could probably have made it to Revelstoke with that car, but that would have been really risky, I would say. So I would have had to stop in Golden. Right now, with this one, the extended range, 2022, so it's 91 kilowatt hour usable. It's really good. Like, I'll make it without any problem to Revelstoke. I'll probably even be like still at 21% right now. That's what ABRP is telling me. So 21% when I arrive in Revelstoke. So yeah, no problem for most people. They'll be really comfortable road tripping that car. Lots of range. And more constructions. But yeah, there's a joke about the two seasons in Canada, right? There is the winter and there is the construction season. So yeah, that's kind of true. Other than that, we're doing well. Another 100 kilometers to Revelstoke, to the Electrify Canada station in Revelstoke. 40% state of charge, 41% actually. And I mentioned earlier the temperature that was pretty low. We're doing a lot better now temperature-wise. We're at 18 degrees, which means the car is not using any heating anymore. It's actually down to 3% for climate use, and it's probably for the AC. And 0% in battery conditioning, so that's good. Very good. 27 minutes away from the charger. That's 40 kilometers. State of charge upon arrival should be 22%, and we'll need to charge up to 57%. So that should be around 20 minutes of charging. State of charge is 31% right now, so doing good, no problem. So it's interesting to note that if you use the software that comes with the car, the Ford navigation software, so here it's telling me that I'll need to charge at the Electrify Canada in Revelstoke. So yeah, same as ABRP, from 23% to 63%. So if you look, ABRP, sorry, it's pretty much telling me I'll arrive at the same state of charge, 24%. So that makes sense, that checks out. But ABRP is a bit more optimistic. It's telling me to charge only to 58% to pursue the trip. So obviously I'm going to go with the fastest solution, which is ABRP, and I'll charge only to 57%. But I wanted to show you quickly the difference, and we'll see afterwards if there is still a big differences like this as we're updating the trip. In Revelstoke, and I just want to show you the difference between those lucky bastards that drive the Tesla. Here is their okay, give me one sec here. Here is the supercharger with plenty of amenities besides grocery, cafe, restaurant. And for the Electrify Canada charging station, we gotta keep driving down the road a little further. That's where the station is. Bear with me one sec here. Here we are. There you go, Electrify Canada. So there is absolutely nothing. There is a railway museum, but that's it. So that's one of the big difference between Tesla and CCS is the quality of the charging station, reliability. We all know that, but also the location. Here we are pulling up at the station. We're going to plug and start charging. 150 kilowatt. No need to take the big one, 350, because we are driving a Mach E. Here you go, clicking, connecting to vehicle. We tapped our phone, so we paid, authorized, initiating charging. Happy, Mang Mang? Yeah? There you go. Here we are at 26% and we are charging. 90 kilowatt, 106 kilowatt. It's ramping up. 120 kilowatt going into the battery right now. So yeah, that's pretty good with the state of charge of the vehicle. Let's take a look at ABRP. All right, so ABRP is telling me 16 minutes left and I need to charge to 57%. And as I mentioned earlier, here charge vehicle to 61%. So there is a slight difference here, but I'm gonna go with the fastest charging solution, if I can say that. So I'm just gonna charge to 57%. 57%, we can stop the charge. We charge for 16 minutes. Took 30 kilowatt hour, put 30 kilowatt hour in the battery. Well, at least that's what the charger is telling me, but there is a bit of loss, so maybe more like 27, 26. We are entering the city limits of Salmon Arm, and yeah, the smoke is just getting worse. It's insane. We cannot actually see the other shore of the lake over there. Barely. You can kind of guess the mountain over there, but that's just insane. Have you ever seen that, Monk?
No.
Yeah, that's really crazy. In Salmon Arm, and as good Canadians, we're gonna have a quick break at Tim Horton, right, Monk? Have a good sandwich, coffee, and then we'll be on our way back to Cochrane. 35%, plenty of juice to go back to Revelstoke, where we will charge again. All right, so we did the quick turnaround in Salmon Arm. We didn't want to stay any longer anyway because it smells so bad, right, Monk, over there? Like the smell of the smoke is just insane. So that's really bad over there. It's burning pretty heavily. All right, anyway, we are on our way back to Cochrane with 2 charging stops to go. One in Revelstoke, so at the same Electrify Canada station, and then we'll stop in Golden at another Electrify Canada station. Another 20 kilometers remaining to the next charger in Revelstoke. And we are currently sitting at 16% state of charge, and the 2 trip planners are getting closer to each other in terms of arrival state of charge. 12% here and 11% here, so we're all good. Okay, so we are here in Revelstoke, waiting to be able to access the charger, the Electrify Canada station. That's funny, I mentioned earlier that the location is not great. Well, it's actually worse than I thought, because if there is a long train, we're in Canada, right? So the trains are long. If there is a train coming, you have to wait to be able to access the charging station when, as I mentioned, the Tesla guys, they can just go right there and charge. They don't have to worry about the train. So I'm really, really looking forward to be able to charge at the supercharger, the Tesla supercharger in a few months, sorry. All right, pulling up at the Electrify Canada, finally, charging station. I'm not gonna use the 350. I can't use this charger. Well, I could, but my peak charging is 150. So I'm gonna be smart, and I'm gonna use a 150. There we go. Okie dokie, and it says here charge vehicle to 48%. And the state of charge is 12.5, 14.2 kilowatt hour remaining in the battery. Okay, let's plug in. Plug in. Nice click. Connecting to vehicle. I tapped my phone, authorized, initiating. Hello, my love?
Hi there.
And charging. 12% should have something like 130, 140, I think. We'll see. Nope. Stagnating at 120. Well, that's fine to me. Okay, let's have a quick washroom break. All right, so we are charging, and oh, that's interesting. The plan is no longer viable. Okay. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna dismiss it. I don't know why it popped up. It's telling me that I need to charge to 54%. Yeah, same number as I've seen before. 22 minutes left. And here, charge vehicle to 48%. And if I charge to 48% here in Revelstoke, I should arrive at the Electrify Canada in Golden with 10%. So I like that better because this one is telling me to charge to 54%. Doing a little exercise, that's good. So yeah, I'll just charge to 48% and we'll be on our way. Okay, so I really like the Mach E, but something that really annoys me is every time you close the door and the car is on, it's gonna do that noise. It's so frustrating. Yeah, I know it's on. Anyway. 18 minutes, 48%, 33 kilowatt hour added into the battery. At least that's what the charger is telling me. We're gonna check with car scanner what we really added into the battery. All right, so interesting situation here. We are at 27% state of charge, 80 kilometers from the charger. And if you look at ABRP, it's telling me that I will arrive with 13% state of charge, but the Ford trip planner says 6%. So there is a big split between the two. So I'm curious to see which one is right. So as you can see, I found why it's doing that, because ABRP here you can see is taking into account the elevation. So you can see the planned state of charge and actual state of charge. It's planned to go up here because it's taking into account the descent. So that's why it's been from the beginning telling me that I'll arrive with 13% state of charge. It's really more reliable than the trip planner, which is now, because we're regenerating in the descent, telling me that I will be arriving with 10% because it doesn't take into account the elevation. Welcome to Golden. So the town is a bit further down the road. You have to take the exit here, but we're just gonna keep going because we're going to the Electrify Canada charging station for the third charge of the day. It's arriving at Electrify Canada in Golden. Looks like the station is empty, so that's perfect. We're going to be able to choose our station. We're not going to take the 350, which is at the end over there, so we're just going to pull over here at the 150. And let's plug. Charging, well, pretty happy with the Electrify Canada stations today. 122 kilowatt, that's kind of what we saw today for that state of charge, so good. It's telling me that I need to charge to 71% from 17 now. And it's gonna take 15 minutes. There is no way it's gonna take only 15 minutes. If I look here, it says charge vehicle to 74. And let's look at the trip overview and the details. Yeah, it's telling me I still need to charge for 40 minutes, which is closer to the reality. Yeah, there is no way I'm doing that. I'm not staying here 40 minutes when there is a good charger in Canmore. So, chargers. Let's go ultra fast. Not really ultra fast, 100 kilowatt and plus nowadays, but there you go. Petro-Canada, Canmore, the number 6 here. Yeah, in Canmore, that's perfect. That's where we're gonna go. No, I don't know why it's not loading. There you go. Doesn't show Canmore. There you go, number 6. Let's add Petro-Canada, Canmore, add as waypoint. Yeah, I don't want that here. Oh, there you go. Go. Let's see what it gives us. Chargers are being added to the trip. Good, calculating. Charge automatically. I don't know. I've never done that. Let's see. Youth of estimated charge. Yeah, no, I don't. What is this deal? Okay. It doesn't make any sense. It's telling me to charge to 81% now. To go to the Petro-Canada in Canmore and arrive there at 41%. No, that doesn't make any sense. All right, yeah, I like that better. 20-minute charge to 50%, and we'll arrive with 10% at the Petro-Canada in Canmore. So that's gonna be a quick charge, and then we'll be on our way again. So yeah, ABRP on that is really not working. I don't know what it's doing. And I tried to reset it, but yeah, it still thinks that we're gonna be doing a 15-minute charge to go to 71%. Yeah, there is no way. The amazing reliability of Electrify Canada or Electrify America, that's the same. Please unplug, charging station failed. So yeah, sure, let's do that. I still need to charge though. Thank you, driver. Okay, finish. Okay, plug in first. Let's try that again. Connecting to vehicle. All right, so it's working again. But yeah, just as I was saying that we had the flawless charging day with Electrify Canada, of course it had to fail. So back to 126 kilowatt, and we'll just go to 50% and then we'll be on our way. Hopefully it's gonna work until 50%. 108 kilowatt going into the battery, 113 provided by the charger. And so I wish it would. Oh, something went wrong, see? So I bet, yeah, charging station post. Okay, well, we have enough battery to go, so we'll just unplug and hit the road to Canmore. Alright, so I lost ABRP because it was giving me like completely wrong information and it froze. So I tried to reset it, but there is no cellular reception here, so can't use it anymore. Okay, great. In the climb here, and as I mentioned earlier, the Ford trip planner doesn't take into account the elevation, so it went pretty quickly from 8% estimated state of charge upon arrival in Canmore to 5% right now. 4%, did you see it just moved to 4-5%? So that's pretty scary, but we know we're gonna be able to make it because we're gonna be going downhill now. Kilometers from the charger in the Petro-Canada in Canmore, 17% state of charge. So let's take a look at the estimated state of charge upon arrival, 13%. So it went from 8% in Golden to 4% on the top at the pass to 13% now. How are you holding up?
I'm so starving.
Yeah, we need to charge in Canmore. There is a McDonald's just by the charging station, so while we're charging, we're gonna have some food. Pulling up at the last charging station of the day, Petro-Canada. We'll be charging for, yeah, this one's always working. That's the only Petro-Canada that's always working. We'll be charging for 10 minutes probably, and then we'll be on our way. This one there, yeah, 10 minutes, and then we'll go home. Touch to begin. Available CCS1. Make sure the vehicle is plugged. It is. Communicating with vehicle. There we go. Ramping up 9200 kilowatt. 121, 122 as usual for that state of charge, so we're good. Okay, so we're already at 30%. It's time to disconnect. I was at the washroom, so it's already too much charge. We've been here for what, 10 minutes? So yeah, even a Mustang charges pretty fast when he wants to. Still, yeah, 111 kilowatt, but we're only at 30%, so that makes sense. All right, that was the last stop. Let's hit the road for Cochrane now to wrap up the video. In our neighborhood. How are you doing?
Exhausting.
Yeah, me too. That's been a long day.
Definitely cannot do that every day.
No. We left at 7 something this morning, 7:15. It's,
And it's
8, so it's been like a 13 hours day, a lot of driving. Pulling up in
Jesus.
our garage. And then I'm gonna have a good night of rest and look at the number, and I'll do a debriefing and for you guys a bit later for me, but pretty soon for you. All right, let's talk final numbers here. So we traveled with the Mach E today. We traveled a total of 997 kilometers, and that's always going to be the same for all the cars. I'm always going to be doing exactly the same route, so that's not going to change. So I won't include that in the Google Sheet here. The total time, 11 hours and 50 minutes. The total energy used for the trip is 178.7 kilowatt hour. As far as the charging is concerned, we spent 1 hour and 3 minutes charging. So I think, it's not a lot because the Mach E is not a fast charging car. It's not too bad, but the curve is not great and the peak is only 150 kilowatt and you almost never see it. You have to be at like 0% basically, and you'll have 150 kilowatt for maybe 2 minutes, and then it's going to go down to 120. So still pretty good. We just spent 1 hour charging. So, if you're doing that trip with a gasoline car, you're not going to shave that much time because you're still going to have to take breaks along the way. So you're going to have to go to the washroom, buy some food maybe, refuel the car at least once. So, it shows that when the charging infrastructure is good and you don't have charging problem, you can really travel pretty fast even with an EV. We added a 99.1 kilowatt hour today during the charging sessions, and that's what we added in the battery, right? That's not what the charger gave us or what the different chargers gave us, because there is always a loss, as I mentioned on the video. So that's really what Car Scanner told me we onboarded in the battery. Highway consumption here, so during the 110 and 120 kilometers an hour test, we used on average 19.7 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. So that's pretty good, I think, for a car, the shape and the efficiency of the Mach E. It's not like a Model 3 or Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6. And then for the section when we drove from 90 to 100 kilometers an hour, we only used 12.9 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. So I think it goes to show that if you're having some range anxiety during a trip, slowing down by a few kilometers an hour is going to make a huge difference, and it's going to make sure that you can reach your destination. The regen test that we do during the descent after Kicking Horse Pass, we recovered 1 kilowatt hour. Keep in mind, it's only like a 2 kilometers section of the highway. So during those 2 kilometers, we recovered 1.0 kilowatt hour with the Mustang. We'll see with the other cars how they perform during that same regen test. Okay, so here we are. Don't hesitate if you have any questions, post them in the comment down below. And until next time, I'm Victorian, and you're watching The French Connection. Bye-bye.